feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
All right. The beef between, and I'm calling it beef because T.I. and 50 Cent seemingly first started from trying to do a verses. And we get it all the time. In that space of doing verses, sometimes people feel like they're above doing verses with certain people. Sometimes they don't feel people are in their caliber. Sometimes one person probably needs it more, maybe for a career rejuvenation or otherwise. But T.I. has long publicly challenged 50 Cent to a versus battle. Now, the reason why I'm characterizing this whole thing as beef is that there's nothing that 50 has ever said that makes me think he respects T.I. musically in terms of him asking for that versus, that he would ever do it, or even if he respects him as a man. If I ask you to play a game of basketball and you tell me, no, you're a snitch, that's beyond the game of basketball. That's you not having respect for me as a man. It's not even turning down what we, the competition. It's you disrespecting me. Now, I was wondering where this was going to go, and we're going to try to figure out the origin, but 50 has been triple downing on calling T.I. a rat, while T.I., for the most part, has avoided reciprocating that energy and basically kept saying, oh, no, he's just ducking me. No. He's more than ducking you, even if he is. He's saying you're a rat. Answer that allegation. He's calling you a rat. That's what's going on. And for the longest, T.I. was acting like his ears didn't hear those words. So let me give you a little bit of how it started recently again. Not how it started from the beginning, but how it started recently. So T.I. and 50 Cent. T.I. was asked, I believe, by Shannon Sharp on stage, hey, who would you want to do a versus with, brother? And while asked that, he would say this.
I was supposed to go, and then goddamn, when I was talking to Swiss, I was like, shit, man, yeah, I'd do it. But really, the motherfucker that really would be the one, it ain't gonna happen. But if Gucci, you young and Gucci, that the one. And then he hit me back. He was like, shit, Tip, don't even trip. I think we gonna get Gucci to do it. I said, well, you don't need me then. But that's the one.
Hold up,
what I mean?
But didn't Jeezy and Gucci already?
No, they were before it happened.
Oh, okay, before it happened.
Before it happened, they were talking to me.
Okay. But I'm saying, so right now.
And then I called my man. I said who I wanted.
You want Weezy?
Nah, I said I wanted 50. That's what I said. He don't want no smoke though.
Oh, Lord.
I called my man. He don't want no smoke. He ducking smoke. It's cool. So now, here we are trying to think about other people who would do it. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
We mentioned Wayne, and Wayne wouldn't be bad. I respect Wayne. I'm a Hot Boy fan.
Yes, sir.
I feel like that would make some.
Okay. Then it continued a bit. He said this.
Damn.
Yeah.
Tip said he want 50.
I like that.
Yeah, I mean,
So let me ask you a question. So it's 20 songs.
Yeah.
It's 20 songs. So let me ask you a question. So is it all your songs, or can it be something that you were featured on?
I mean, I believe it could be anything that you had something to do with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on.
But I ain't tripping. You can.
Hold on. You finished the album already?
I could be finished, but it ain't finished till it's out.
What? Hold on. hey, listen. Well, Tip, I rap. Put your boy on now.
I hear you.
Yeah, I can.
I hear you.
Oh, Lord.
That's your boy.
Tip, come on. Tip, I'm going to have to leave Georgia.
Hey, get what? Hey, check this out.
Leave Georgia.
Man, pull on up one time, man. I just for the behind the scenes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I can rap.
I mean, well, come on and do it then.
Yeah, all right.
Come on, pull on up.
We have to disown you, Tip.
Man, pull on up.
Okay.
Here.
So that conversation
Yeah.
turned into really quickly 50 responded. But again, I'm using the analogy of you asking someone let's play basketball. And their response seemingly isn't, oh, nah, I think I'm better than you or you're trash at basketball. They instantly they say something like, ain't you a snitch? Didn't you R-word that girl or something like that? So 50 posted this. He posted two things. First, he posted this video of the old video that people know and is tied to T.I. where he did a commercial for Crime Stoppers. And 50 said, why you make me do this, nigga? This is the first song I'm going to play. You so tough. Okay, so he's saying if he ever faced T.I. in a versus, the first song he's going to play is this.
That can help our mothers, our sisters. That can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers. Help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the streets. All you got to do is call Crime Stoppers Atlanta. Tips can be anonymous, and there's even a reward. The number to Crime Stoppers Atlanta is 404-577-8477. That's 404-577-TIPS. Channel 2, community coverage you can count on.
Okay. Then he posted another video, and this time it was T.I. who took the stand during the trial of the murder, so the trial for the murder of his best friend, Falant, where some guys allegedly after a club, not allegedly because they're convicted, some guys pulled up. I guess there was an argument back at the club. They shot into a vehicle, and it was a vehicle that was occupied supposedly by T.I. and his best friend, and I believe manager at the time, died. His name is Falant. He got shot several times, and he did not make it. This was very controversial at the time because hip-hop, even though it's always adopted this no snitching thing, people were trying to figure out, is cooperation at all cool? Now, some people make the amends to say, well, he didn't do a crime with these guys. And, you know, hey, this guy who died wasn't a street dude. But some other people say, dog, you're a street dude. Street dudes should never do this. So, also, there's another, like, associated, like, incident. One that happened with Busta Rhymes and, like, his bodyguard, I believe, got killed. Or someone close to him. And notoriously, Busta Rhymes just wouldn't cooperate with the police at all. And not only would he not cooperate with the police at all, even some people who were loved ones of this person really took issue with Busta Rhymes because they said, hey, listen, you're taking the street shit too far. We want justice. Our loved one was working for you at the time that they met their demise. We want answers and we want justice. And notoriously, Busta Rhymes was not cooperative, seemingly because of his own code. So people looked at both situations. T.I., who he cooperated, some people feel like it was out of guilt. It felt like he owed it to the mom of the person who died. But some people felt like, hey, listen, this was going against the street code. Regardless, you know, in hindsight, people, you know, look at this and call it like cooperation. 50 Cent says, no, I don't like it. My verse is let's do. It said no verses. Let's do. He said, stay away from competition and stay away from me. So he tells T.I., stay away from verses and stay away from me.
Mm-hmm. You recognize who that is?
Yeah, that's Phil.
Okay.
Oh, that's his body.
In 34A.
Yeah, that's the entry wound.
And that's a picture of Falant with the bullet hole in his head?
Yes, it is.
And that's the bullet hole that you described to the jury as being in his temple on the left side?
Yeah.
It's the pan to the judge is crazy. It feels like even a judge is like appalled.
Being in his temple on the left side?
Yeah.
How did Falant's family find out about his death?
I told him. I called his mom first, then I told his cousin. I told his little girl.
How old was his little girl?
His daughter was 4 years old at the time. 5 years old at the time.
And how did you tell his daughter that her father was dead?
He's in a better place and he won't be coming back. And I told him how much he loved her.
And how did you tell his mom that her son was gone?
Well, first I apologized. I apologized because, you know,
I felt that, you know, all of those rounds were fired for me, you know, in my opinion. So I apologized to her at first, and then I told her what happened to the best of my knowledge, and I told, you know, I didn't get to really say much.
There we go. There we go. Okay. Now, it appears that 50, you know, this seems a little bit more personal than just, I don't want to do verses with you. A page named New Face posted a throwback clip of T.I. talking about like verses, and 50 commented. This what the clip was.
Please tell 50 bring his on out here and get this smoke. Oh, Jesus. Please tell 50 Cent get his hit records and come on and sit down and see what the South got to say, guys.
Jesus Christ. You say you want that man to see all full-fledged what the South got.
I want him to see what the South got to say. Now listen, hey, I'm the king below the Mason-Dixon line, king of the South. I speak for all of the Southern people. New York been saying under their breath about us and having little slick comments about us, thinking it's all slow down here. But they want to come down here and go to our malls and go to our clubs. But then they want to kick it like, nigga, we substandard when they get back up top. Well, that's stop right now.
Yeah, you say you done with that.
That's stop right now, guys.
You say you done with that.
Please tell 50 bring his on out here and get.
Okay. Now, after that, 50 commented King Rat, to which T.I. responded back in that comment section. He says, "You're playing on my name when only one of us is a rat in real life. You know I got your paperwork, right? And my transcript is available online, nigga. Your excuse is useless. Get your hoe ass in the box and shut the fuck up and live in fear. You're soft, son. You lost my respect. Fucking duck." Now, finally, T.I. has responded to exactly what, 50 is talking about. I think he gave 50 all the grace he could. 50 was not talking about verses. He was using verses to clown you because he says you're a rat. He says the first thing I'm going to play is your commercial for Crime Stoppers. The second thing I'm going to play is you being on the stand. Clearly, he's not trying to do verses with you. He's trying to highlight the fact he believes you're cooperant. T.I. finally answers back, and he's saying, yo, hey, I got paperwork on you. He sounds like Whack 100, huh? Holy. Now, the depths of that beef, I'm a little bit confused about. And I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm trying to figure out 50 Cent T.I. beef. Like, where does it originate from? Obviously, we know sometimes these things escalate and originate from way back. From all I know, T.I. has only ever called out 50 in a competition type way. Let me watch this. Oh, this bum ass nigga.
Seen a post today where they were saying that you were supposed to be in I guess one of the power what's the name? I guess two of the actors on the show said that you were actually supposed to be on the show, and then they replaced you with Method Man, and they weren't expecting it or something.
No, that's not true. 50 and I, we were executive producers on a different show outside of the Power universe.
Okay.
But nah, man, me and 50 cool. I'm the only one who's not offended by his brass approach, and he's not offended by mine. So, Nah,
that's not true, T.I. One thing I like about 50 makes it uncomfortable for people. And I often like to see the other gangs. This is honestly how why I love 50. 50 is probably the only rapper I've ever seen in hip hop history that I've never seen when there is potentially another gangster or maybe a bigger gangster that is now in the realm of talking shit and competing with him that he's kowtowed to. None of them. If anything, he makes it difficult for them, and they're usually on their tippy toes trying to avoid stepping on his shoes. That, to me, is a sign of the real boss. You have somebody like Mano, He's huffing and puffing, acting like he's tough, this and third. 50 starts getting on his head top. He basically releases a PR statement where he makes sure he doesn't want to disrespect 50. Got him. Even Jim Jones is got him. T.I. is like, oh no, it's just brass approach. 50 doesn't explain it like that when he's talking about y'all. I said the same thing to Mano. Because Mano had, he had every word to say about me in the book. But then when 50 said, y'all are bitches and broke and squatters, he was like, I don't think, you know what? Squatters sounds good. Nah, squatters, that's lit. Yo, name the next podcast. They had nothing to say. They didn't want the smoke. 50 is the bully of the bullies. And that's one thing I like with him. He's the bully of the bullies. And it's been so many times I've seen him make other people who we think are gangsta or tough look like they're figuring out a way how not to get into it with him. The only person I could probably say that probably avoided that would probably be the Game, right? The Game at first. Well, but the Game was trying to stay on G-Unit at first. He didn't really start stepping on that type of wave until it was already gone. And even then, I think, he was kind of like open to reconciliation. Maybe Rick Ross. But I think Rick Ross was fighting for survival. But every time I see him, like, you could tell 50's demeanor to T.I. isn't like, you know what, T.I. has great vernacular, I just disagree with him on this. He just calls it out. You're a king rat. He leaves it there, and he leaves it with the ultra respect. And when you hear these guys talk about 50, they're mad respectful. They're dressing it up with bows and ties. They're trying to make it sound good. But 50 just calls it out, and he issues the most disrespect. You are the king rat. Nothing else to say. It's disrespectful. It's in your face. Yeah, I said it. No sneak dissing. And when they talk about him,
we play rough, but we ain't no issue.
We play rough, ain't no issue. I think you're saying that. He's saying you're the king rat.
It's a mutual respect, though.
There is no mutual respect. That's the point. When you hear these guys talk about 50, it's mutual respect. No, it's not. Okay? Let's see some other videos. All right, this is 17 years ago. Damn. This is TRL. Let's see what he said about T.I.
To everyone listening to it, is an awesome song. Listen carefully. Actually, you don't have to even listen that carefully. Yeah. There's a line in there directed at another rapper in the game.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What line? What rapper is on?
It was a line that has you questioning that you have, is it true you have the best lawyers in the game?
I feel like I do.
Okay.
I have a great legal team.
And you asked them a question that if you got caught with 10 weapons in your car, you would have seen 10 years, maybe 9.
What makes you feel like there's a line to a rapper?
Yeah. It just seemed to be very coincidental with the timing of things that are going on.
That's like.
Will you deliver the line for me 1 second? I don't want to do it injustice.
You use real life situations to create something that's entertaining without being specific. That's entertainment to me. Like if I had an issue, when have you known me to be indirect with an issue?
Oh, you're pretty direct.
Right, so if I had a problem with any artist, trust me, they would know. You see what I'm saying? When I take it and I write that, it's because a lot of people...
Chat, is 50 the most gangster nigga? Like, and when I mean gangster, like, we're not talking about killer. Like, obviously the biggest killer ever in hip-hop is King Von. Clearly. But when we talk about gangster, like, the guy who stands on his principles, his morals, and he goes against everybody. He takes every fade equally in terms of competition, whether it's street, musically, whatever you want to do. He deals with everybody accordingly. Is there any other person we could say, oh nah, I feel like it's 50.
Think that. Yeah. And they're not saying it because they're cowardly people. You see what I'm saying? So when you write it and you put it there and you leave it and say, let me watch and see what happens. And there's so much controversy around it, you didn't say anything. Then you go, see, they think that. Yeah. They just won't say it to them because they're a bunch of punks.
Yeah. Will you drop the line for me, that line that starts off with about having the best lawyers in the game?
I got the best lawyers money can buy. They said it would have got me 10 or maybe 9. I said, well, how do you explain how homie breathes? I said, you keep your mouth shut or you eat the cheese. You so tough.
Are you telling me that's not directed at a specific rapper?
Well, I can't. With my intentions, if I have a problem, my MO, and I would just say something. So it's not really directed at him. It's me taking real life situations that these things are relevant to hip hop. Period. You see what I'm saying? So I take it and I make something.
One thing I like about 50, I guess at that point, he didn't want to be looked like a bully, but we know 50's a bully. He's not backtracking at all. That's one thing I like with 50. I rarely see him backtrack. I don't really see apologies from him.
It's interesting enough.
And he's the only person who I've never seen pivoted, apologize, get on one knee to be accepted. He's always bulldozed his way through everything, and it's worked.
People to sink their teeth into, and then I move forward. If you have beef, then we make it beef.
Can you understand? Well, you know me, I'm direct too.
Yeah.
Is that line about T.I.?
Absolutely for the public to decide.
See, that's why I like 50. He was not going to say absolutely not. It's for the public to decide. Now, let me see. Where do they beef? Did they do a song called Officer Tip? I don't remember that. What's the history of their beef? I'm trying to figure out. Let me see.
Right. My name ain't in that case.
Here we go.
And accusing him of selling out his roots to chase mainstream fame. The rant came after T. I made comments about prioritizing his acting career and distancing himself from the rap game. 50 pounced on the opportunity, blasting him for abandoning the culture that made him. You ain't the king of the South no more, 50 sneered. You're just another actor trying to play tough on red carpets. Social media instantly caught fire, with fans split down the middle. Some applauded 50 for keeping it real, while others defended T.I.'s versatility and career longevity. Memes flooded Twitter, painting the clash as yet another iconic 50 Cent feud. T.I. has not issued a full response yet, but insiders say he isn't letting the insult slide and may fire back soon. With 50's reputation for relentless trolling and T.I.'s pride on the line, this feud could quickly spiral into one of the year's ugliest hip-hop battles. T.I. learned the hard way when 50 Cent began dragging him relentlessly over long-standing snitching allegations. That label has stuck with T.I. for years, shadowing his career and earning him constant disrespect from peers and critics alike. 50 was among the loudest voices keeping the controversy alive, ensuring the stigma followed T.I. everywhere he went.
When they want to try, look, even for me personally, my character, they would try to track my in that case.
At first, T.I. attempted to brush off 50's remarks and keep things professional, but the situation escalated. Tensions rose, and T.I. eventually fired shots of his own. Instead of letting the issue fade, he challenged 50 to a 20-track versus battle, even suggesting it take place as a birthday event. That move only fueled 50's infamous pettiness. He resurfaced the old 2008 Crime Stoppers commercial where T.I. encouraged citizens to report crimes, and the internet had a field day with it. Despite their history of collaboration, including joint tracks and mutual respect early on, the accusations never stopped haunting T.I.'s name. Adding fuel to the fire, recent rumors claimed T.I. was once in line to play Davis McClain in Power, but allegedly lost the role because of his feud with 50. T.I. denied the speculation, insisting there was no truth to it and stating that both men share respect. However, 50 himself has never confirmed that narrative, leaving space for more questions and debate within the culture. How did T.I. end up with this lasting reputation that keeps 50 Cent and others at arm's length? How did things...
Do you think that 50 really just feels this way about T.I. because of this snitching stuff? I mean, I don't know if 50 picks and... Does 50 pick and choose in terms of snitching? I know he's... I remember he always says he doesn't like Ricos, and that's why when he was on the track with Casanova and 6ix9ine, he's like, I do not gangbang. He always uses that reference because he wants to make people know, I don't do organized crime in the gang format. I don't do that. Obviously, 6ix9ine cooperated. He never really dealt with 6ix9ine anymore. Is 50 like a anti-snitching guy? I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't feel like he says that every single time somebody gets caught for telling. What is it? I see somebody quoting. I know who said those lines. It says something of felon. You ain't a predicate. Never the king of New York. You live in Connecticut. Everybody know what song that is. Tell me what song that is.
Spiral so far between them, and what's the reality of their relationship today? To understand it, the timeline has to be broken down carefully. 50 and T.I. go way back, and their tensions are far from new. Beyond the constant shade 50 throws across social media, the beef with T.I. really boils down to a few pivotal factors. First, T.I.'s relentless push.
Oh, play with me. Who think you're talking to? Play with your name. King never gave no information to get anybody in no. But now time with no police. If I am working with a police, it'll be to get him to shoot. You talking about? Play with me.
For a Verzuz showdown rubbed many the wrong way. He wouldn't let the idea die even when others saw it as unnecessary. Then, T.I. stirred the pot further by criticizing East Coast rappers, which naturally put him on a collision course with 50. But the most damaging chapter came from that infamous 2007 Crime Stoppers advertisement. At the time, T.I. was facing severe legal trouble, busted on weapons charges, and staring down the possibility of a 20-year sentence. To soften his image and possibly influence his fate, T.I. appeared in a public service announcement urging citizens to report crimes. While the intent may have been in this chapter, he was referencing the infamous 2007 ordeal that derailed T.Y.'s image and fueled the snitching rumors that never left him.
Innocent or guilty, criminal or citizen, that could get them anytime for any crime. Say, look, if it say, sir, did you see such and such and such, do such and such and such? Oh, wait a minute, only time, the only time.
That year, just hours before T.I. was set to perform at the BET Hip Hop Awards, federal agents swooped in. He was arrested on serious weapons charges. The twist? His own bodyguard, secretly working as a federal informant, handed over 3 machine guns and 2 silencers in exchange for $12,000 cash. The deal was caught and the fallout was immediate. As a convicted felon, T.I. had no legal right to possess firearms, especially not high-powered automatic weapons. The case looked airtight. Yet despite the gravity of the charges, T.I. avoided what most would assume to be a mandatory decade-long sentence. Instead, his punishment was shockingly lenient. 1 year of house arrest, 1,500 hours of community service, and
definitely shocking, right? But obviously, as we could tell, right, like the criminal justice system definitely looks to get cases off the book, and if you're down to take a plea, they're down to give you something probably favorable than maybe people would expect. But I'm not gonna lie, when they had said that he had a machine gun and a silencer, I think we thought like this was like some military grade like stuff. Now these days they call a switch a machine gun, and we've seen people go to jail for like 2 years for it, right? Lil Zay Osama went to jail for like 2 years for having literally a machine gun. Well, they call a Glock with a switch a machine gun, right? Because you could fire on fully auto. But he also had a silencer. That's like a protected thing about from the ATF. So, I thought that was like a huge deal. Like a silencer. I don't know. I think he had a grenade or a grenade launcher or something too. Like that shit was crazy. Like, again, gun laws in this country is very different. Like, I'm still shocked that, like, Lil Wayne did, like, 3 years for a gun. But Lil Zay Osama gets caught with literally not only a gun, but it's a gun with a fucking sear on it, which is a switch, which makes it a machine gun, and he does less time. That's kind of odd. T.I. gets caught with not only a gun. I know he was caught in Georgia. Was it Georgia? I think it was. Caught with a gun. Got caught with like several guns. It's supposed he was already a felon because, he used to rap 7-time felon. Got caught with all these guns, silencers, and I think possibly a grenade launcher, right? So think about the things. Machine gun should be some crazy time. Silencers. And by the way, just to let you guys know, I don't know if any of you guys are into guns. I've just applied for a silencer. I want to give you the realistic. If you can get a silencer legally. When you apply for a silencer, basically the government takes an exorbitant amount of time and they do a full-on background check into you, because a silencer is just not, the U.S. Constitution protects people right to bear arms, but bearing arms is just having a gun. You don't necessarily need to have a silencer. That's like an accessory for a gun that makes, it muffles bullets and this and third. Anyway, they take 6 months to review everything. They do extensive background checks. They supposedly they'll show up to the homes of like your, references and actually have conversations to see if you're a type of guy who would do a school shooting, this and third. Not only that, they go through another process, and once they issue it to you, which, by the way, could take a year for them to approve you to have a silencer, it's not like you could walk into anywhere and buy a silencer. You buy one particular silencer that's kind of assigned to you, and this is the most interesting thing about silencers legally. You waive your Fourth Amendment within certain senses. I got to explain what that is. So a silencer... No, so your Fourth Amendment is the right. You have a right to not have unlawful searches and seizures, which means if a cop pulls up and says, "Give me what's in your pocket," if he doesn't either have reasonable doubt or reasonable suspicion, depends on what it is, or for example, say you're in your house and say, "Hey, I'm coming to your house upstairs." If he doesn't have a warrant, he can't come there, right? And if he did go there and grab something, it's going to be thrown out because you have a Fourth Amendment right, which is the right against unlawful searches and seizures. When you get a silencer, you essentially almost sign away your life that you allow the ATF to do a unwarranted check if you are complying with federal regulations for a silencer. So, for example, once you're given a silencer, you can't have the silencer connected to the gun. It has to be separate at all times within your house. Now, if you're going to the range, you could put the silencer on the gun. But you can't just have your gun chilling there and the silencer there. So they basically kind of like, they fuck you a little bit because you kind of have to agree that they could just pop up to your house, search your shit to make sure you're complying. That you have the silencer and your weapons separate. They're not attached, this and third. And that is really invasive because you're granting the government a free pass to walk in your house. I think it's one time a year for compliance without a warrant. So if at any time the ATF wants to come in your house and you're legally issued a silencer, they could just walk in your house to make sure you're complying. Obviously, that could be used for many different reasons. But I only tell you that because this is how much these things are monitored, how much supposedly prosecution against you having them illegally, or even if you do have them illegally, if you have the silencer attached to the gun and they come to your crib and check, you're definitely losing a silencer, but you possibly face charges. So these things were supposed to carry a lot of years. These are heavily scrutinized things, and T.I. just bought it from his homeboy, a silencer, a machine gun, and supposedly some grenades, and he gets probation. It was crazy, I ain't gonna lie.
An unspecified short prison stint. This is where 50 Cent's commentary gained traction. On You So Tough, he rapped about how even the best legal team would normally secure 9 or 10 years at minimum for charges of this magnitude. The fact that T.I. walked away with such a light penalty left room for speculation. 50 didn't directly name T.I., but he didn't need to. The lines were clear, and the implications were heavy. In interviews, he slyly suggested that the public already connected the dots, branding T.I. with the dreaded snitch label. And once that perception spread, it followed him relentlessly, regardless
is this
of
an AI
against
video?
9
What's the name? I guess 2 of the actors on.
Okay,
maybe 50 himself had skeleton. As this clip goes,
all right, this is not
podcast. When asked how he felt about people calling him a rat because of the ad, Tip doubled down and stood firm on his earlier comments, refusing to budge on his stance. When the host pressed further, specifically asking how he felt about New York rappers like 50 Cent throwing shade over the ad, T.I. had more to say, attempting to explain his reasoning while dismissing outside criticism. But that's when the situation escalated again. Roughly a week after the interview aired, 50 Cent decided to clap back in a announcement on the city's...
Okay. Enough. I'm trying to figure it out, but I don't know. This is more than verses, right? This is more than verses, clearly. I can't tell what it is, though. It's more than verses. Has Yayo spoke about this? Oh, maybe this will help.
Show me one place in the federal guidelines where you can have 10 machine guns and get 1 year of community service and 1 year incarcerated.
T.I. is in an interrogation room talking. He's snitching. I thought we don't talk to the police.
I gotta clear up what Charleston's saying, because Charleston, shout out to Uncle Charlie, but he's not actually accurate. You could talk to the police as long as you reside in Atlanta, but only Atlanta niggas could talk to the police. If you're outside of Atlanta, you're snitching. If you're talking to Atlanta, if you're in Atlanta, you're talking to the police, it's flirting.
The only one who's not offended by his brass approach, and he's not offended by mine. So, we play rough, but we ain't no issue. It's a mutual respect, though.
So, if you know anything about 50 Cent, you'd know it's never a good idea to get on his bad side. T.I. learned this the hard way, and T.I. has had this...
You're fighting a man with no arms.
Let's skip through a little bit. We saw some of these.
What's up, man, with 20 of your records, man?
This challenge only made 50 Cent...
here we go.
Your birthday.
Here we go.
Nick, do what they can. Just do what they can.
More and more people in the industry started calling him out for being a snitch. You would think T.I. would learn not to poke the bear, but nope, he went ahead and challenged 50 Cent to a 20-track battle on the Versus platform. Now,
for your birthday, I offer you a challenge, sir. Pull your up, man, with 20 of your records, man.
This challenge only made 50 Cent pettier because 50 took to Twitter and posted an old video of T.I. from an 2008 Crime Stoppers ad. In the video, T.I. is part of an Atlanta news broadcast encouraging people to report crimes, which in the eyes of many is essentially snitching.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? Some people call me Tip, but this is about another kind of tip that can help our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, and our fathers help get the perpetrators who commit crimes against them off the street.
The caption read, "Why do you make me do this? This the first song I'ma play, you so tough," and thus began a long, drawn-out beef between the two. What's wild is that these two used to be cool. They even worked together on tracks and everything.
Wait, what the fuck?
Where you at right now?
Is that these play, you so tough.
Wait, how does this... Wait, what the fuck? How does this video say from a year ago? And I think 50 posted this recently. Unless I'm tripping. Y'all get what I'm saying? This was 50's response a few days ago, but looked like this video is saying it was from, unless 50 just responded the same way 5 years later, 2020 and 2026. Okay, all right. So it looked like he's responded to T.I. before with that, like, this is the first song I'm playing.
And thus began a long, drawn-out beef between the two. What's wild is that these two used to be cool. They even worked together on tracks and everything.
Where you at right now?
They've both done well for themselves, too. Over the years...
How you doing? Thank you.
I still argue that 2005, 2006... was, T.I.'s year. Now we know Jay retired in 2005. We know Kanye dropped Late Registration 2005. I believe 2005 was the year, no, that was 2004, the year of the massacre. 2005 was also the year, this was a lot going on in 2005. 2005 was also the year of The Game dropping the documentary. But 2005, 2006 is really T.I. is stepping on shit. The King album is amazing. The King album, when did that drop? T.I. King album. That album dropped in 2006, but he was dropping singles up until then. So it dropped March 28, 2006, but he had already dropped a couple of singles leading up to that. I believe What You Know About That. Let's see. What You Know About That probably dropped. This was when singles actually dropped before the album. These days, niggas just drop the album, right? Let's look. All right, where is it? Yeah, What You Know. Yeah, What You Know was dropped in 2000. It's still top of the year. What was the top song? It was Top Back, right? Because people used to do a street single. Oh, never mind. That came out later. What was the first song from this album? Why You Wanna? I don't know. That was after too. Front Back? Okay, Front Back was the first single. It was dropped in 2005. Okay, cool. But yeah, he was on a generational run then.
But T.I.'s success does not stop at music. He's involved in various business ventures, including his own record label, Grand Hustle Records, which he founded in 2003. He's invested in several other businesses too, like the clothing line Aku and the social media app Yaptima. T.I. has even authored 2 books, Power and Beauty and Trouble and Triumph. But despite all these achievements, a lot of people, including 50 Cent, still don't have any respect or regard for him because of the snitching allegations. And it's not just old news either. Back in August 2022, during an interview with TMZ, Power Book 2 Ghost stars Michael Rainey Jr. and Gianni Paolo talked about working on the show, 50 Cent's involvement, and more. Paolo mentioned he'd heard rumors that T.I. was up for the role of Davis McLean before it eventually went to Method Man, supposedly because of the beef between 50 Cent and T.I.
I heard T.I. was supposed to play Method Man's
Oh,
character.
No
way! And then I don't know if there was a beef or something happened, but then he never wound up playing it, and then Method was Davis McLean.
Even though
so they've been beefing behind the scenes.
T.I. later debunked this, people still think there might be some truth to it.
Never, that's not true. 50 and I,
Yeah, T.I. was copping, please, bro.
Swooped in and arrested him. They found that he had 12 machine guns on him and 2 of them even had silencers. Now, if you're a previously convicted felon, getting caught with guns is a massive problem. And here was T.I., a felon with a dozen machine guns. Naturally, everyone was wondering how T.I. was ordered him to pay $100. He took some jabs, but not directly. Now, 50 to explain how homie breathes. They said keep your mouth shut or you're eating the cheese.
I got the best lawyers money can buy. It's
pretty direct.
Whether or not.
That was pretty much the extent of their beef potential. Surprisingly, they actually went on to work together, jumping on tracks, and everything seemed cool. Fast forward to 2020, T.I. stirred things up again by calling out 50 Cent to a friendly 20-track battle on Instagram Live through the Verzuz platform. For those of you who don't know, Verzuz was created during the quarantine as a way for artists to go head-to-head and see who has the best tracks. It didn't matter if you were a producer or an artist, it was all about showcasing your catalog. So during 50 Cent's birthday week, T.I. decided to stir the pot by challenging 50 to a 20-track battle. T.I. wanted to see who had the better music and catalog. He even poked fun at 50, saying since Kanye West beat him in their sales battle back in the day, 50 might not take up the challenge.
For your birthday, I offer you a challenge, sir. Pull your up, man, with 20 of your records, man. You know what I'm saying? But I understand if you don't want to answer to that challenge, because last time you got challenged, Kanye West dusted your off. So, you might not want to do that. So, well, guess who ain't scared of your ass, 50?
At first, fans thought T.I. was just joking around, but things quickly escalated. After posting the initial video, T.I. doubled down by posting another video where he was on the phone with Kevin Hart, who shares the same birthday as 50.
Please tell 50.
Okay, so that's that old video that got posted today again.
T.I. the weed they gave Smokey and Friday, lol. T.I. wasn't about to let that slide. He fired back with another Instagram video saying 50 acknowledged his challenge but didn't want to accept it.
And he acknowledged that he received a message. He ain't said nothing about accepting that challenge though. All the comment talking about, oh man, 50 gon' do it. Man, I mean, y'all scared of that, not me. Talking about what 50 gon' goddamn do. Man, shut your scared up, get out the way, and let me handle this.
The next morning, T.I. kept the momentum going with more videos explaining how he tried to fly out to 50 Cent's birthday party to show some love and talk things over. However, one of T.I.'s homies called and told him it wasn't a good idea because Tony Yayo had a problem with T.I. This led to T.I. and his friend going live on Instagram to discuss the situation.
Where you was at last night?
In Brooklyn. In
Brooklyn doing what?
Doing 50 Cent party, had a great time. Told me on the way, you got the jet already gassed up. I said, don't come.
Yeah.
I said, don't
What
come.
you say?
I said, don't come.
say what?
Boy, when I tell you that boy Yayo, he either got a real problem some type of way, man. You ask me, he got some type of problem.
Tony Yayo didn't stay quiet either. He jumped into the comments accusing T.I. of clout chasing. Then things took a more personal turn. The next morning, 50 Cent took to Twitter and posted a video of T.I. on Crime Stoppers from back in 08. In the video, T.I. is part of an Atlanta news broadcast encouraging people to report crimes, which is essentially snitching. The caption read, "Why do you make me do this? This is the first song I'ma play, you so tough." T.I. saw this form of law enforcement at any time and
okay. So this was his response when 50 did the same thing 5 years ago.
in poor taste, much like your catalog move. Quote, "I'll take this as an acceptance of this catalog challenge." He says, "We got him. He bit the bait. Set this ish up so I can finally shut this watermelon head invisible neck guy up once and for all."
Oh, they've been
As far as this clip goes, it's cute, old, outdated, and in poor taste, much like your catalog, 50 Cent. However, I prefer facts, and the fact remains, I have never given any information to any form of law enforcement at any time in life to get anybody anytime for any crime. Supreme told me to ask 50 Cent if he can say the same. Well, that's all I have to say about that, so let's set this date and select your songs off that one hot album you got, and let's lay your little overrated, outdated, steroid-inflated ass catalog to rest. RIP to 50 Cent catalogs. I seen you bully all them guys for years, not the king though. Despite the persistent snitching accusations, no concrete evidence has ever surfaced to prove T.I. actually snitched. In fact, T.I. has always been outspoken against snitches. He even kicked an artist off his Grand Hustle label after discovering the rapper was a DEA informant. Alpha Mega, who signed with T.I. in the mid-2000s, seemed to bring street
He was on the song called Hurt. I love that song, and I love his verse.
cred with him. T.I. showcased him on the 2007 single Hurt with Busta Rhymes, but things fell apart by the end of the decade. In 2009, The Smoking Gun exposed Alpha Mega for working with law enforcement after he was sentenced to 110 months behind bars for federal gun charges in September 95. T.I. wasted no time dropping Alpha Mega from Grand Hustle. He explained his decision in an interview on Atlanta radio station Hot 107.9, stating,
Show me one place
what the
on the federal guideline.
I explained that he and Toot were running a hustle in their native Atlanta involving stolen upscale clothes when they were pulled over by cops who discovered a gun in T.I.'s possession. Quote, "We were at Lenox Mall parking lot unloading the truck of stolen clothes. I'm talking to the man while making the play," he remembered. "This guy's looking at everything like, man, y'all got, mother F, we done said what you want. Get this ish and go," and right then mall security pulled up. We got in the car and pulled off, and of course they followed behind us and called the real police. So before we actually got on the expressway, the real police pulled us over. I had a gun. Toot, who introduced T.I. to DJ Toomp, the producer behind hits like What You Know, 24s, and You Don't Know Me, was murdered during the court case. At the urging of his lawyer and with Toot's posthumous blessing, T.I. avoided incarceration by claiming the gun belonged to his cousin. Quote, "We caught those gun cases. Toot died. My lawyer said, well, you know, I could make everything go away if it was Toot's. It was Tremel's," T.I. recalled. "After he had passed, I had a talk with him. Toot said, I'll take all the charges you got. If you can walk away free and put it on me, goddamn right, because I'll be damned."
All right, we're getting into the weeds. All right, these guys don't like each other. All right, bet. So it looked like this has been going on for a while. I'm actually happy that T.I. looked like he's been reciprocating the energy. I wonder why he would say he still want to do a verses with him. It's clear the nigga don't like you. It's clear the nigga thinks you're a rat. You got to stop trying to get acceptance from people who have shown that they do not even respect you. You got to eventually say fuck him or ignore him. So I was a little bit surprised that T.I. came back around this year to say, oh, I want to do a verses with 50, and that's why he kind of got slammed. All right? Okay, all good.